If I tell you that electrical current passes through our body, you might not believe it, but it's true. Electrical current is transmitted in our body through neurons, which carry information to different parts of the body. These neurons come in different types, each with its own function. In this lecture, we will cover the following topics are listed below. First, I'll explain what a neuron is. After that, we'll study the structure of a neuron, including a diagram of a neuron. Then we'll cover the types of neurons. And finally, we'll discuss the functions of neurons. First of all, let's understand what neurons are. Neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous system. In other words, a neuron is the basic unit of the nervous system. Neurons receive and transmit electrical impulses to different parts of the body. Do you know that our body contains about 100 billion neurons? Meaning the average human brain has approximately 100 billion neurons. Now let's move on to the structure of a neuron. As you can see in the image in front of you, the thread-like structures are called dendrites. The body of the neuron is called the cell body or soma. The long, tube-like structure is called the axon. On the axon, you can see a sheath, which is called the myelin sheath. The cells visible within the sheath are called Schwann cells. Inside the soma, the brown structure you see is the nucleus. At the end of the neuron, the structures are called nerve endings or axon terminals. Now, let's discuss the parts of a neuron. We'll go through each part of the neuron one by one. The first part is dendrites. In the structure of the neuron, the branches or thread-like structures are called dendrites. The function of dendrites is to receive messages and transmit them to other neurons. The second part of the neuron is the cell body. The cell body of neurons is also known as the soma. The soma contains organelles like the Golgi apparatus, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, and mitochondria. Just like other cells in the body, the soma of a neuron also contains these organelles. Now let's move on to the third structure, which is the axon. Look at this tube-like structure in the neuron. It is called the axon. You might be thinking, what is the function of an axon? The electrical impulses that enter the neuron pass through the dendrites, and from there, the current moves down into the axon, eventually reaching the axon terminal or nerve endings. In other words, the function of the axon is to transmit electrical impulses from one neuron to another. For more details about this, you can watch my lecture on action potentials and nerve impulses in my channel. Next, let's talk about the synapse. Look at this junction between two neurons. When two neurons meet, the junction between them is called the synapse. Now, let's move on to the types of neurons. There are three types of neurons. Number 1, sensory neurons. Number 2, motor neurons. Number 3, interneurons. Let's study these types one by one. Number 1, sensory neurons. They receive signals from the external environment, such as when someone touches you, or when you feel pain, like when your hand touches a hot iron. Sensory neurons carry this information from the affected body part to the brain or spinal cord. Now let's move on to the second type of neuron, which is the motor neuron. Motor neurons are found in the central nervous system. Here is the most popular question that can be asked in the exam. What is the most common type of neuron? The answer is also motor neurons. Motor neurons carry signals from the brain to different parts of the body to create a response. The third type of neuron is the interneuron. The function of interneurons is to connect sensory neurons and motor neurons. In other words, they transfer information from sensory neurons to motor neurons. Now let's talk about the functions of neurons. The main function of neurons is to carry information in the form of electrical impulses. For example, if your hand touches a hot iron, the sensory neurons will carry this information to the brain. This brain then sends the message to the motor neurons, instructing them to move your hand away from the hot surface. This process happens so quickly that we barely even notice it. The electrical impulse travels from the sensory neuron to the interneuron, and then from the interneuron to the motor neuron in an instant. That's how neurons work to keep us safe and respond to our environment. If you would like to watch my other lectures on topics such as the lungs, kidneys, liver, brain, or eyes, visit my channel to watch my other videos. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.